continuing my quest to vibe code my indie game called The Story of Someone. Let's get the mood started here. So, I was working on my fight arena sandbox, and I wrote down some notes at the end of my last stream of things I wanted to change. So why don't I start with that? And those of you who this is the first time you are tuning in to one of my streams, I am creating a procedurally generated, somewhat roguelike JRPG style game, still in the very beginnings of the process. And I am making a foundational arena that is just for play testing the fight mechanics of my turn-based fighting in the game. And so what we have here is a blue square is the player and a red square is my slime creature. And so what I want to do is, let me make sure that this music isn't too loud. Let me bring that down a little bit. What I want to do is I want to add some extra features, but let me demonstrate what happens. So if anybody has played a game, old RPG, like Final Fantasy VII, where it has the loading bar for when your character gets to take a turn, I'm using that system. And right now I have it where my player's speed, 15, is a little higher. Oh, you guys can't see this. Hold on. You're missing out on some of this. There we go. That's a little bit better of... let me make this... I forgot that my game window got bigger. So let me resize it for you guys here a little bit more. Let's see. How about there? I don't know how much you care about seeing me, but let's at least get the window in there. So we've got in fact, yeah, I'm just going to make it full screen so you can see as much detail as possible. There we are. Okay, so ignore me for a little while. You guys don't want to look at me anyway. There is the blue square is the bluish square is the player, and so I can attack, move, or defend. I'm gonna move just for the sake of showing that it works. Oops, I gotta click on this window. So I can move down, and now the slime gets to take a turn. Happened pretty quick there, but the slime, I think I should put a delay, saying saying slime's turn, and then have a little bit of a pause. So, and of course, if we were playing an actual well-polished game, there'd be an animation and everything. Oh, I realized another thing that you guys would probably like to see is the terminal output. So let's see here. If I do, yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to this output because this terminal output down here is important. So this will be if I am doing a little bit of the prompting, and then if you guys want to see the screen while I'm doing prompts, then I'll use that one. Okay, so let's stick with this screen. You should be able to see most of the information for the game mechanics here, the fight mechanics, and then you can see the output on the terminal is going to tell us how well attacks land and what type of move the AI decides to do for the slime. So now let's actually attack, and I'm attacking the slime. So I hit for 2, but it was only a 50% land, so my attack is at 5, and looks like the code rounds down or truncates off decimals because I only got to hit for 2. And well, we'll see if I stick to that. Like sometimes that can be annoying to players if it's always rounding down on the attack. And then let's see here. So the creature attacked me, right? It had 100% land at 3 points, and I was not defending, so it hit me for 3. So I'm gonna keep. Should I keep attacking? I think if I defend, I should be able to defend the next hit. Yeah. Okay, so I defended the next hit. But my defense was a failure. So, oh well. All right, so I'm definitely going to attack. Let's see if I can actually win this battle. Looks like I will, because that was a full attack. It was not looking good there for a second. Okay, now I'm going to defend definitely on this one. Okay, only hit me for 1. All right, let's attack, see if we can kill this slime. Okay, the slime is dead. Now here's a bug. So there's going to be a new wave. There's going to be 2 slimes, and it gives me 10 seconds. That's not really what I was intending, was to have 10 actual seconds. And the other thing is that I wanted the bar to grow while I'm in that pause. Also, if we watch here, we'll play a little bit more. If I attack, oh well, I'm not supposed to be able to select an enemy that is not a legal attack. Let's see what happens if I press it. Okay, it's out of range. Good. So it rejects that. But if I attack here, that one is a successful attack. All right, now, okay, so I've got 5 hit points left. Now, I don't know who I'm attacking. I mean, I do, because I do remember that the creature I attacked that was higher was the first one I attacked. But let's say I start losing track, or the battle starts out this way. Which creature is which? Like, which one has 5 out of 10 hit points and which has 10 out of 10 hit points? Like, that's... I need to highlight the creature's name also. So that's one of the things that I'm going to do. So let me change the view here so you can see. So I've already got Gemini. Like, we've already been working on this particular aspect of the game earlier, and I'm just going to continue the current chat I have going. First, I'm going to tell it, like, things are going well. This looks good. I would like the highlight of the creature on the arena board. Let's call it grid. We've mostly been referring to it as a grid. To not only highlight the tile for the creature, but also put a highlight box over the name of the respective creature that is selected. Okay, so this should allow me, yeah, there we go. Let's just need a space. So this should allow me to keep track of what's going on. I'm a little hesitant to ask it to do 2 things in the same prompt, but both of these are pretty simple asks that also already have an infrastructure laid in the code. I'm just making modifications to existing logic. So I'm also going to ask it to, during the wait time between waves, allow the action bar to load for the player. I think that's it. Just allow the action bar to load for the player. Yeah, I think the AI will get the point. And I may ask it to get rid of the display of the countdown, but this is a sandbox. This is just a test arena. I'm going to go ahead and press enter. So I'm not too concerned with these extra like things printing on the screen. It's kind of good to know what the current status of various stuff is. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that countdown available. All right, this probably isn't a big update. Oh no, okay, still thinking. So in the meantime, let's finish this battle. I think I was attacking. It's not letting me. It didn't let me. Oh, that's right. I have to press left and right. Ooh, I'm gonna die. I am so gonna die. Yeah, it's over. Okay, so another thing is when I die, nothing stops. So, trying to think, what is the most valuable thing for me to do at this stage of development? Is it to respawn? I feel like I should be able to press a heal button to heal myself, or maybe I just allow an auto heal of half my hit points after every wave. And another thing to actually make, I know what to make this more valuable. I need to start adding an experience points concept and a leveling concept. So why don't we do that next? And I can allow healing. Maybe I just press the H button, and every single time I press the H button, it heals me 50%. And I can decide how much I want to abuse that privilege, just for making sure that I'm scaling properly. Alright, it's printing out all the stuff. Let's go back to the top here, see how it responded. Of course, adding a highlight to the UI panel for the selected target will greatly improve clarity and allowing the player's action bar to charge between waves and make the downtime more engaging. Okay, so sandbox game. Go ahead and close out. And let's start copying some code. So this file is getting huge. I think it's getting time to refactor. In fact, I'm very sure that it is time to refactor. Maybe we will just make sure this works, but we won't do too much testing, and we will refactor sandbox game because it's getting pretty excessive. Okay, so sandbox renderer and then UI controller. All right. Getting all the errors out. Yep. Okay. So, like I said, I'm going to try to stick to my promise to just make sure it actually works and comes up. Let's not do too much testing. Let's not get carried away. Then we'll refactor. Okay, it's hitting. Okay. Yeah. So, I'm gonna rip out the Band-Aid. Don't test. Let's go ahead, and even though it just gave me this file for Sandbox Games, I like to give the current state of my file to the AI when I refactor, just to truly refresh its memory. Sometimes I'll even give it my entire code base just to make sure it's remembered or truly knows the state of all my files. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to do that. My code base for this particular subdirectory is not very big, so I'm not too concerned with bogging down the token count. So I'm going to use my consolidating Python script here and give Gemini, see how many tokens this is. So yeah, 14,000 tokens. That's peanuts. Okay, sandbox game.cs is getting pretty long. Can we refactor this code into more compartmentalized files with better organization? All right, let's try this. Let's see how it responds to that request. Okay, now that I'm refactoring, the behavior of the game should be the same after the refactor, so I'm a little bit more apt to do a little bit of testing and come up with some new ideas. And we've already talked about how I should create a leveling system, which I think I should have a little conversation with the AI about how to go about doing a leveling system. And what kinds of characteristics should go up. I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious that the hit points, the attack, and the defense should increase, but I was actually thinking, no, I want to make the game where the base points are controllable by the player. So when you level up then you get a certain number of stat points that you can add to your character. You can choose where. So I'm going to do that. So we need to make a leveling system. How much EXP per level, and how much EXP per creature. How much EXP per creature, per enemy, and then how many stat points. Stat points per level. And I like RPGs that start with very low numbers for stats, where when you're first leveling in the game, like one stat point is a big percentage bump. And then as you get further along into the game, the build up is a little bit slower, and hopefully you're like percentage wise. So maybe by level 10, you're allowed to have 2 or 3 stat points. So the amount of stat points you get per level goes up, and you get to divvy it up. You get to spread it out a little bit more even per level increase. But if you're already 20 stat points in, like 2 points is 10%. But if you only have a defense of 3, 1 point is 33%. So like those percentage jumps, they matter. And I'll talk with the AI about all those kinds of concepts here in the next round. So let's refactor Sandbox game first. Of course, as the project grows, refactoring for better organization is a critical best practice. A single class handling game state, logic, and orchestration becomes difficult to maintain. Okay, so right now I will refactor Sandbox game by extracting its responsibilities into 2 new, more focused classes. Sandbox game will be simplified into a high-level orchestrator. It'll manage the main game loop and delegate tasks to the new service classes. Okay, I like that. That's not too drastic of a refactor, but hopefully it'll more or less evenly divide the 600-something lines of code into maybe about 300 each. I usually try to keep my code below 400 lines, and it's not because 400 lines is necessarily a lot of code in one file. It's more about the AI having to produce so many lines every single time it makes an entire file. Sometimes I do have the AI only give me changes to methods, but a lot of times that can end up being, I don't know, I'm getting spoiled already, but it feels kind of cumbersome, and that's a big like Crimea River situation right there. But still, I'm going with what I prefer based on what I'm getting used to. So, all right, game state manager .cs. Okay, and let's see how long this file is. Oh, look at that. It's like nothing. So I don't know how good this refactoring is going to end up being. Hopefully I'm refactoring into files that aren't going to get changed too often. And then game logic service. Okay. Okay, yeah, this one's quite a bit longer. This is like pretty much all of sandbox game.cs. All right, let's see what we end up with. Okay, 300. Like I was saying, I wanted to have pretty much that. And then sandbox game. All right, that should be hopefully another roughly 300 lines. 290. All right. Okay, I'm reasonably happy with the outcome of that. Okay, good. All right, let's just make sure it works. I don't see any errors. Okay, all right, we're fighting a tentacle now. There's no differences between the actual creatures. Not just yet, but I do allow the possibility of, let's see if I can do it. Attack. Oh, look at that. There's the square. No, it's not letting me change creatures mid game. That's okay. I'm I'm not upset about that. Defend. And I got a 50% block, so I only got hit for 1. Now if I attack. Alright. Down to 2 hit points. Come on. Don't hit me too hard. Ooh, that was 3. That was a full attack. Alright. Okay, so next wave happens in 10 seconds. 10 seconds is too long. It is allowing me to fully charge my bar. I don't really want it to charge the entire bar. I want there to be a little bit of a drama. Unless, of course, maybe like I have a low speed or I was debuffed and I have slow cast on me. Maybe that's not a big deal. An endless wave is not what I intend during the actual game. So this is just me creating something that I can do balancing, like fighting, balancing things for the game. So I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I like it when you level up, there's a healing factor. I enjoy games that do that. Now, do I think it makes sense that you heal all the way to full when you level up? I'm going to go with no. I've never really thought that made a lot of sense, and I thought that sometimes that's a little bit OP. So I'm going to go that you will get healed half the value of your new max hit points. I'm just going to go with that. All right. So let's go ahead and make a leveling system. Let's have a discussion with the AI. I'm going to tell it all my ideas, but I'm going to say don't write code. Let's talk about a plan based on all the things. So I would like to actually, before I really vandalize my code a lot, I'm gonna go ahead and do I like this. I'm gonna commit. I like where we're at. So added the ability to move the creature. The creature has a basic AI. What else did I do? I think that was the two. I think those are two major things. Added an endless wave mode. Added the ability to fight multiple creatures at once. Okay, yeah, I think that covers everything. Okay. All right, now let's get back in there and let's create the leveling. So I would like to create a leveling system for the player. I think it would be fun if we level at a rate that isn't quite sustainable without an item, like a healing potion or some sort of buff. So let's make it where it's barely sustainable and then dial it back a little bit. I think that's a good first approach at this kind of balancing of a leveling system. So I'm going to play the game after we create this leveling system and have it where you heal half of your new max HP. And I want at some point where it to feel like it's close to dying, but then once you level up, and I'm getting new creatures over and over again, like every single time I get 2 creatures, then it's 3, then it's 4. So maybe it needs to just continue to stay close. I have the same level creatures, but they're just increasing in number. I don't know. We're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna learn a lot about like balancing of an RPG for the first time by having a complete like peek behind the curtains of what I'm making, right? So let's add, let's see, how do I phrase this? Let's add, like, we need EXP for like the next level up. We need to set an EXP amount for the creatures. What else? I want to have a stat point given to the player that they can use to upgrade one of their stat points. And for example, adding to attack will increase the attack 1 point. If they add to HP, it will increase by 5 points. Add the ability for me to change the hit point increase amount in the config file. So maybe I'll only have it be 3 or something like that later. I just want to go ahead and lay that foundation now. What else did I say? I wrote some stuff down. So EXP per level, how much EXP per enemy, stat points per level. Oh, that was pretty much it. Oh, also the healing. When a new level is achieved, not achieved. Okay, when a new level is achieved, the player should heal a certain percentage of their new level's max hit point value. So if they don't put that stat point into their hit points, then they're only going to heal half of what their hit points were in the previous level. I think that's fun. Yeah, I like that. The healing should happen after deciding which stat to add the point to. There's something else I was thinking about. Allow me to change the percentage of healing in the config file. Before we write code, let's discuss a plan for this system and a step-by-step update plan for the code. Because I feel like this is a lot of things for me to be adding all at once. And Gemini has been pretty good at breaking a problem down into sub-steps, so that way we can kind of add them in one piece at a time. And I also like to see how Gemini likes to approach things. and it knows how lots and lots and lots of role-playing games are made and what styles they have, so it can make suggestions. Do you have any suggestions for best practices for making a balanced leveling system for an RPG? All right, let me just fix that typo, and then let's let that one go. All right, so I've done a commit. I told it not to just start going crazy and writing code. I'm feeling pretty confident about how this one is going to progress. So let's see here. Let's see how this turns out. By the way, I hope my music is not too loud, and also that it is loud enough that it is enjoyable, because these are a lot of songs. They'll probably be placeholder songs. Full disclosure, they're AI generated music, but I plan on putting it in the game to test like the different moods that I can possibly create. If this game is successful in its reach of interest for people as I get closer and closer to, say, putting out a demo and getting it ready for some sort of a Steam release or even a Kickstarter, then I do plan on hiring actual composers. Maybe they can get inspiration from these AI songs and things like that, and then create new versions and different moods. And I do want the music to be somewhat interactive with what's going on in the game. I like games where the music is not just a song that's playing in the background. It's actually like if a creature has been seen, like maybe an extra instrument track kicks in or something like that. So I do have every intention of getting actual musicians involved, like composers, and necessarily have to be musicians, but composers and things involved. But in the meantime, let me know what you think. Like, are there any songs that stood out? Are there some that's like, yeah, you definitely need someone to create a new version of that? I feel like when it comes to the current state of AI generated music, I like there's songs that it has created that I really like, but they just don't sound very good. Sometimes they have distortion, or the volumes of the different tracks and instruments are not quite right, or there's another thing like sometimes I just wish there was a little bit more punch to certain instruments, especially drums and things. So I have found I'm a musical person. I do play an instrument. I haven't played in a while. I used to play violin. I played in the orchestra for years. And I really get affected very, very emotionally from songs in movies and in games. And I've been incredibly impressed with how AI music generation is going. I understand the controversy, and I'm kind of on this in between on where I think the ethics of AI generated music and taking people's content without their permission and using it to train the models. That could be a whole conversation in a future stream that I'm absolutely willing to have. But I do find it very impressive, but it still has a lot of limitations. But I've made some songs that generated songs with AI that has lyrics and all that kind of stuff, and some of them I jam to them in the car. They're just there. I wish they were a song that was actually made by a person. But yeah, so it is what it is. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. But that's what I have playing in the background. These are potential songs that will end up in a demo version of the game. So just letting you know that the music is relevant to the project I'm working on. All right, so let's see how the AI, what kind of advice it has for working on this. So this is the perfect time to plan a core system like leveling. Thinking about the architecture and balance now will save a tremendous amount of time later. Here's a breakdown of best practices for creating a balanced RPG leveling system, followed by step-by-step plan and implement your requested features. All right, best practices for balanced RPG leveling system. The experience curve, the amount of experience needed to level up, should not be linear. Yeah, I do like it when the number goes up in time. A linear curve, 100 XP for every level, makes early levels feel too slow and late levels feel too fast and meaningless. Best practice, use an exponential curve. A common formula is, next level XP plus base XP times the level raised to some exponent. A simple version, and the exponent is probably the thing that I would tweak. Simple version is raised to 1.5. This ensures that each level up feels like an accomplishment and the pacing remains consistent throughout the game. Meaningful stat choices. If one stat is mathematically always the best choice, a dump stat. Okay, hold on. That's kind of zoned out there. If one stat is mathematically always the best choice, a dump stat, the player's choice isn't meaningful. Okay. Best practice. Sure, every stat provides a tangible, valuable benefit. Your proposal is a great start. Giving 5 hit points for 1 point makes it a competitive choice against a +1 attack. You can also consider how many turns does 1 speed get you over the course of a long fight. Yeah, I was thinking about lowering the speed points to a much smaller number. It's often the most powerful stat. You know, I might even put an exponential curve on the stat point increase per level. So that way I don't have to think about when I go from 1 point to 2 point, like so explicitly. It can just be a natural curve that maybe it always rounds down, rounds down, rounds up. I'm not sure. And then so maybe it'll just naturally be on like level 3, you'll get 2 points. Okay, so defense. How much damage does +1 defense prevent? It's more valuable against many small hits than one big hit. Ooh, yes, that's right. Oh yeah, I love games where a creature will hit like 3 times for 5 points and another creature will hit once for 15. I definitely want that. Yeah. Okay, some creatures or some enemies hit same total but spread across many attacks. Yes, I love that kind of, like, if you know that an enemy has a chance of like hitting you 3 times for a smaller amount, then it's much more worth doing the defense on a bunch of attacks. And then I would also do that for my characters. Like, we have obviously area of effect attacks, but then also like multi-hit attacks are a great other variable, especially when we have this defense value. And I think the percentage of defense should be calculated with every single hit. So if the enemy hits you 3 times, maybe one of them will get defended for full, but then the next one will only get, but then the next one will only get defended at 50%. So you'll see different number values. Yes, I like that. And I don't really like when a full attack misses completely like too often. So I think I already have it in there that it's only like a 5% chance of a miss. And I think I'll make it even lower than that to start. I really don't like constant missing in a game. It gets really annoying to me. But I do want to reward players if they end up in a situation where they have a bunch of trinkets, or maybe I do make an evasion stat that they can play around with. That one's tough for low points values. I'm wondering how I might scale that. Anyway, scaling challenge. As the player gets stronger, the game must keep up to remain engaging. Best practice. Our current wave system, which increases the number of enemies, is a great foundation. We can later expand this by also slightly increasing the stats of creatures in higher waves to ensure they remain a threat. Yeah, I agree. The resource management and rewards. Leveling up should be a moment of triumph and relief. The heal on level up mechanic you requested is a classic and effective tool. It acts as a strategic reward, potentially saving a player in a difficult multi-wave battle. Yeah, and I like the idea that experience points get spread amongst players. So, but the question is, do I allow leveling during battle? No, I always think like, yeah, like between waves is fine. So a battle is a battle. You don't get your leveling up and your healing until the end of the wave, or which is also a proxy for the end of a battle when playing the actual game. So yeah, I'm sticking to this. It also acts as a strategic reward, potentially saving a player in a difficult multi-wave battle. It rewards survival and endurance. Okay, step-by-step implementation plan. We will implement the system by modifying our existing files and adding the necessary logic in a structured way that respects our recent refactoring. Now, the other thing is also, not reading now, I'm just talking again. I need to very soon, before this gets too complicated in the fight arena sandbox, be able to integrate this into the game. So there's a few things that I need to do, but I want the game to start placing enemies in the dungeons so I can practice creating the battle, and then the creatures will be walking around in the dungeon, stuff like that. And then this whole leveling system and the stats, hopefully they translate over to the main game properly. Okay, we'll add new configurable values to our JSON file and the corresponding C# class. This makes them easy to tweak for balancing. In the sandbox config.json, add level up hit points bonus, level up heal percentage, creature EXP value. 50. Okay, so what is my EXP per level? Add the corresponding properties to the class. I want the EXP at the beginning to be low, like 5 experience points. I just love it when a game starts off with you just being able to like customize your character quickly. So that's my goal, that maybe the first 2 or 3 creatures you fight levels you up. So I think I want to have a level up by the end of this second wave. Oh, it's gonna be challenging to survive. So I'm gonna have to change my hit point values to compensate. And then I want I think I want to level up again with the 3 slimes that happen on the 3rd wave. And then maybe so maybe I don't want to be able, like, these waves grow fast, so I got to be careful, but I want like maybe the first 2 or 3 battles in the actual game to level you up, and you get a stat bonus, which then you can put onto an attack that increases your attack by like 30%, and it's like a significant bump. And then you get to fight again, but it takes a little longer, and then you get another stat point, and maybe you can throw on your defense, and then you can even put your defense from 2 to 3, and that's a 50% increase. But as we go along, the stat point, that there's going to be a slightly slower leveling until you get to harder creatures. And I hope to make it where, like, if you're lucky or clever, you can find a creature that is like not impossible to kill, but you do have to plan a bit, and you get like a lot of hit points, or sorry, a lot of experience points. So maybe you can get 2 levels in one fight. I also want to allow you to bring in a new character who's a low level, and if you can protect him and he can get some hits in, then he will level super fast, like 3 levels in one battle. It's so satisfying to me when a game allows for that. Like, I've got this guy, and he's a complete wimp, but he wants to help in the story, and you're like, all right, come along, young apprentice, and I'll get you leveled up pretty quick. I'm a level 50 and you're a level 5. All right, I'll get you to 20 in like the next 10 minutes, that kind of thing. So these are I'm just expressing all these goals that I have. Update player data structures. Okay, add the following properties: level, current EXP next level. Yep. All right. Okay, so it's doing it all in steps. I like this. New game state. We need a new state to handle the moment the player must spend a stat point. Yes. Awaiting stat point in the battle state enum. and add a new property to the game state manager, and then we need a way to do the leveling. So this is why I wanted it to break this up. So this is looking good. Granting XP. Okay, and I'll ask it to give me more details here. Handle player input. Okay, step 6, update UI and rendering. Okay, the plan breaks the feature down into manageable, logical steps that build upon our existing architecture. Once you approve this plan, I will proceed with writing the code. Yes, this looks good. Let's do the first step. All right. So I think right here is a great lesson in vibe coding. Vibe coding, a very complicated thing. You can put your entire idea out there while it's fresh in your head and you're just trying to dump it out and make sure you don't forget anything. It's just like a nice stream of thought. But you don't want the AI to do that entire huge idea all in one go. So prompt it to do this little powwow, this little planning step. Oh, looks like it messed up. Okay, so for Gemini, you can just press this rerun button. May have to refresh, but we'll see how well it recovers. I don't like it that these windows went blank up here. And this is getting around the time of the night for me when Gemini historically tends to get a little buggy. All right, so we got our JSON. So this is sandbox config JSON. I recognize this one. Okay, and then we got sandbox config.cs. Small file right there. And then what's next? We have, oh, that's it. Okay. So what was this upgrade? Section 3, first step. Yeah, that was pretty straightforward. What did we add? The new configuration properties for the leveling system. Okay, it's just the configuration. All right. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I like this. Okay, so what do we got? We got level up, hit point bonus, have a heal percentage. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna change it to 0.5. But if I get another JSON config JSON update, Gemini doesn't know I changed it to 0.5, so it'll change it back. Current XP value, and then what is my EXP per level? We'll find out. I am ready for step 2. By the way, I like the exponential equation for the EXP values for leveling when we get to that step. Just want to have it confirmed. I just want to confirm to it that I like that idea. Okay, don't do it now. Just saying. Alright. Excellent. Glad you like the plan for exponential experience curve. It's a cornerstone of good RPG pacing. Step 2. Okay, so battle entity. So update the battle entity class to store all necessary data for the leveling system. It'll add properties for level experience and available stat points. Okay, so battle entity. Okay, we're really breaking this up into steps, but I don't mind this at all. I like it that every step also ends up being some sort of a compilable step, but at the same time we're still just working our way. So experience the next level, initial EXP needed for level 2. That seems about right. I kill 2 slimes. By the end of the first wave, I will level up. and it'll be 150. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Might even have to make it where I don't get a new slime every single round. Alright, the player entity is equipped to track its progress. So you're ready to proceed to step 3, adding a new game state for applying stat points. I'm ready. Oops, but I'm not clicked into the window. I'm ready for step 3. Okay. I'm getting a little bit of a error over here. Let's see what's going on with my stream. That's fine. Alright, this should be done by now, right? Hold on one second, I'm doing a little bit of maintenance here. What's going on? Why can't I find the window I was using a second ago? Oh well, okay. I don't think it's an issue. Thought I was having a stream problem, but okay. Continuing on. Man, if anybody is joining, they'll let me know if it's unwatchable. Okay, I will modify GameStateManager.cs to include the new game state required for handling the level up screen. Okay, so Game State Manager. Again, really short. All right. And core leveling logic. Okay, I'm ready for step 4. Yeah, this is a much lower stress method of doing things, and I can kind of vet each step here. So current wave number is waiting for next wave. False. Interesting. Wave spawn meter. Wave spawn time. Okay, so I can shorten the time. Interesting. Course, step 4, the core of the leveling system implementation. I will modify game logic service to include all the necessary mechanics for experiencing gain and leveling up. This involves adding logic to grant EXP when a creature is defeated, checking if that EXP results in a level up. Cool. Alright. Just this one file. Alright. It's pretty amazing that it can handle so much editing. Okay, so step 4 is not complete. The logical foundation for our leveling system is in place. We are ready to proceed to step 5, where we will handle the player input for the new level state. Love it. Let's continue. This one's taking a little longer. I feel like this is maybe where I could turn up the music a little bit. Hopefully it's a reasonable volume. I'll find out during the playback. Still kind of working out the balance here, but you can kind of tell by my audio levels that I'm probably not completely drowning out my talking. Okay, sandboxgame.cs. Yeah, I'm not really talking about anything interesting right now. I'm just kind of saying out loud what I'm copying and pasting, so maybe you'll enjoy a little bit of music to fill in the void. Alright, and then we are ready to proceed to the final step, step 6, which will update the UI to visually represent the new leveling system. Okay, alright, yeah. Let's keep going. Oh, hopefully that doesn't confuse it. Shouldn't, but a typo there. I used to be more lax about typos, and now that I'm doing some like higher stakes level of prompting with like big code bases and stuff, I try to really minimize any potential confusion. Alright, and now sandbox game again with some further updates. It's not done yet. Let's go ahead and just see what it says. So it says, I'll now update the UI to display the player's level and experience, right, and to provide clear visual feedback during the level up process. This involves changes to sandbox game, renderer, and UI control. Oh, okay. Alright, so this one's probably going to take a while to print out. Let's see if sandbox game is at least done. Yes. Okay. Okay, and then sandbox renderer is next. Nice. And then UI controller. Okay. Leveling system is now fully implemented. From the underlying logic to the user interface, the player can gain experience, level up, spend stat points, and with clear visual feedback at every stage. I'm actually really confident that this is all as it is being described. Let's fire it up. Turn the music down just a tad here. Oh yeah. Ooh, look at that. There's an experience bar. I know it's gonna, do that to me, so that's why I was waiting. All right, let's look at how the behavior goes. So, oh, interesting. It's got a bunch of blue rectangles around the stats that are probably related to the leveling up. So let's go ahead and let's defend. Let the creature do its attack. Okay, I only got hit for 1. Good. That's right. I gotta up my hit points. I'm gonna make it through the second wave. So why don't I go ahead before I forget and let's increase. Well, let's see how close I get to killing the next 2. Let's attack. Okay, well, wow. Killed that one easy. Alright. Ready to go. And you know what? I want them to move to me. So I'm going to move up 1. Oh, they're still not moving. Oh, they're still... Okay. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to go there. Make the other one have to travel. And now I can attack. Ooh, full hit. Nice. Okay. Okay, I got attacked. Question is, do I defend? There's a chance that I kill this guy. Alright. Ah, see, it's leveling up in the middle of the battle. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'm gonna leave it as is for now. It's not a decision I have to like anchor down right away. Okay, so the experience went up by 150. So now it's 150, and I'm going to. So how do I navigate the? Okay, it's arrow keys. What do you think? I think I'm going to increase my attack. A to confirm. Everything's A. Interesting. Alright. I think I can defend for the next attack. He's a fast? Yes, he is. Cool. Okay, got only hit for 1. Let's go ahead and attack now. Ooh, yeah, hit for the full 6. So I have a higher chance of killing this thing in 2 attacks. Got it. Okay, next wave. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a little bit of fun here. So that's a good sign. Ooh, this guy right here. I'm going for it. Like, let's go. Oh, only hit for 2. Okay, but if I kill 2 guys, I will. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Ooh, that was a good hit. I'm just gonna get this guy out of the way. Oh no. Okay, so now we only have 1, but I'm dead. I'm very dead. Okay, so I died. That was fun. Very much enjoyed that. I am going to increase my hit points by 10. I feel like that is a lot, but I want to try and survive a little longer. I'm going to try not to sit and play this for too long. I should keep working and maybe see if I can find a way to integrate this into the main game. I was also going to work on some pixel art. Oh, you know what I should do? I should put on some fight music. Let's see here. So, yeah, here's the music. Let's put on something a little bit more intense. Like, I have one. Oh yeah, here we go. This one's a good song. I really liked this one. Alright, let's hopefully it's not too loud. That might be too loud. Let's go maybe about there. Okay. Alright. Time to fight. Let's go ahead and move. Let that guy move. Let's defend. Oh, that was a full defend. Nice. Okay, attack. Alright, got a full attack on that one. 3. Come on. Oh, that was a weak attack. Will I get to attack before he does? Oh, looks like it. Oh no, got me. Wow. This is definitely a much different outcome than the last round. Okay. Wow, they're right next to me. So immediately. No, I'm going to move that way. But that was silly. Fine. Alright. Come on. Gotta kill one of you. So one's gotta move, the other one will get to attack. Yeah, I'm getting hurt. These attacks are horrible. I'm literally killing my guy here. Should I defend? Can't, I already picked attack. I would like to make it where I can swap. Okay, adding that in. Want to swap actions if changed Oh no, I did not do that yet. Oh. Okay. Alright, what? So I am attacking. Okay. And I can upgrade a stat. What do you think? Yeah, I feel like I'm not defending that much. So let's go ahead. Although I could upgrade my hit points and get healed for more. Ooh, that is so tempting. I'd get 15 points. I'm gonna up my attack. Alright. That'll get intense. Come on. I can already tell that I don't really want to... Oh, you know what I should be able to do during the wave is move. I don't know how much that matters, but yeah. I think that'd be cool, that if my bar gets to full, it'll pause and let me do a move, or possibly even, I don't know if a defend is necessary. Anyway, these are like details that I should probably preserve for when the game is more done. Should I move toward the enemies? I feel like the answer is yes. Okay, that's a good full hit. Okay. And did not die. Really? Wow, this is not good. Ooh. Oh. Should I run? If I run... that was a bad choice. This is interesting. Let me just see how much I can run around and try and find a strategy that I can work with here. Okay, so now if I have to defend, then that means they'll get an attack in, but can I? Wow. Okay, that was fun. I liked that. Very interesting. Okay, so I feel like the speed numbers are too high for speed only going up 1. I want to at least add a value for how much speed will increase per level. I mean, one way to... I have a better idea. Okay, I want to be able to lower my speed numbers, but I don't want the bar to take forever. But I need everything to be relative. So if I'm fighting at... If I have a speed of 15 and I fight a creature that has a speed of 2... I want their bar to just move slowly, but I want my bar to fill up within a reasonable amount of time. So I want the fastest character to fill its bar within a minimum amount of time. And then everybody slower will just fill up more gradually. But I always want the turn to have the same kind of like rate. I don't want just because you're fast for you to just be like, not have enough time to think. So I think this is a wonderful addition. I would like to normalize the action bar for the player's real-time experience of each turn. What I mean is the opponent with the highest speed stat will dictate the speed of the action bar fill time. All slower opponents will have their action bar speed scaled to fill slower, but at the proper relative rate compared to the other opponents. Okay, we got a major typer there. Okay, so this is a little bit complicated, potentially confusing. So what I'm going to ask is, could you summarize your understanding of my request and tell me what you plan to change before we write the code? Yeah, okay, so, and this is kind of a weird, wonky thing for me to add in, so I like how this is going so far. I'm going to go ahead and commit. Added a robust initial leveling system. Okay. Oops. No, come on. I don't need news right now. Alright, and I forgot that we got the music blasting right now. Let me turn that down. The fight is over. All right, let's see what plan we may have. Of course, is the next idea for improving game feel and balance. Normalizing the action speed makes the pacing of combat much more predictable and easier to tune, regardless of the raw stat numbers you use for your entities. My understanding of your request is that you want to convert the current absolute speed system into a relative one. Currently, an entity with speed 50 will always fill its action bar at the same real-time rate, no matter who its opponents are. This can lead to a very fast or very slow feeling game depending on the stats of the creatures in the current wave. You want to change this so that the fastest entity on the battlefield sets the pace. This entity's action bar will fill at a consistent, predictable rate that we will define in the configuration. Good. Forgot to tell it to let me set that value. Every other entity's action bar will then fill proportionally slower based on how their speed stat compares to that of the fastest entity, and this means I can lower the speed stats and keep the pace of the battle consistent. Let's say we set a new configuration value, normalize max speed to 25. In wave 1, the fastest entity has a speed of 20. The game will treat that entity as its speed is 25. An entity with a speed of 10, half as fast, will have its bar fill at a rate equivalent to a speed of 12.5. Okay. Okay, yeah, I like that. I think I would like it where the configuration value is basically just the number of seconds. In wave 5, or maybe like the number of milliseconds, so I can do like fractional seconds if it becomes necessary. A new boss appears with a speed of 100. Now this boss becomes the benchmark. Its action bar will fill at a rate equivalent to a speed of 25. The entity with speed equal 20 will now feel much slower, with its bar filling at a rate equivalent to speed of 5. Yeah, This change ensures that the relative speed differences between the entities are always perfectly maintained, and the overall speed of the combat encounter feels consistent and is easily tunable from a single configuration value. Yes, and I think for bosses, to add dramatic effect, I will have those bars feel slower. So it feels like you have more time to think, and it feels like everything is just more like intense and it's like slowed down because of the stakes are so high. I will introduce a new property to sandbox JSON called normalize max speed. This will be the new base speed. Yeah, okay. And refactor the action bar logic. Are we right? Okay, yeah. Okay. I am ready for step 1. Can we make the normalized speed, normalize max speed, a unit of time? I want to be able to set how long I will wait for the fastest opponent based on the number of seconds as a float. Okay. Yeah, I like that a little better. It's just easier for me to think like, oh, I want this to be every 3 seconds, but then when I get to a boss, maybe it's every 5 seconds, something like that. Not like this weird normalized 25. I don't know what that is, and I would just be kind of like poking around experimentally trying to figure out what number I like. Excellent clarification. Using a direct unit of time makes tuning the game spacing much more intuitive. Okay. Instead of abstract normal speed, I'll add a property called seconds for fastest turn. This value will represent the number of real-time seconds it takes the fastest entity on the field to fill its action bar from 0 to 100. Perfect. All right. Let's do this. Okay, sandbox config. Okay. Step 1 is complete. The configuration is now set up to define the pace of combat in seconds. So what's it set at? It is set to 4. 2, 3, 4. I like that. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready for step 2. Oh, and see, yeah. I don't know if this is going to get changed again, but I want to make this 30. I want to be able to more easily... Oh, and I want to lower the speeds. I want raising the speed to matter. Because I never was like, oh, I'm going to add to speed. No, there's no way I can sustain what's going on by adding to the speed when the speed is 15 and I only get 1 point. I'll now refactor the update ATB method in the game logic. Okay. Yep. All right, so... game logic service. That was a big file. Is this the only update? Okay. And then the other thing I want is I want the stat points to be an exponential. I'm just going to do that now. I would like the number of stat points earned per level to increase in amount the same equation as the needed EXP per level is set. Do I actually have that in the config? I want to be able to... No, it doesn't look like it. I would like to be able to adjust the equation in the config file. Yeah, I want control over that too. This is level, yeah, this is getting exciting for me. Might even have the level up HP bonus go up as a curve as well, and yeah, I think all of them should go up as a curve. Maybe not the attack, but like the hit point, the attack, defense, and speed should go up as individual points. I'll just be given more points, but I do think that the HP should scale up as an equation. Okay. Oh, of course, this is a fantastic idea for rewarding players for more generously late in the game, making each level up feel increasingly significant. Okay, you don't have to explain your understanding every time now, but okay. Proposed implementation is to calculate the points awarded for reaching a specific level using the following formula. Points awarded, floor, base points, growth factor. Interesting. Okay. A configurable starting value for points awarded level 2. This can be a decimal to allow for slow fractional growth that accumulates over several levels. A configurable multiplier that increases the reward for each subsequent level. A value of 1 would be linear, while a value like 1.05 would mean a 5% compounding increase in points awarded per level. And as a factor of your current level. Interesting. Okay. It's basically like a compounding interest equation. The new level player has just achieved. The model provides a powerful and flexible way to control the player's power curve directly from the configuration file. Alright. Okay, breaking it up into steps. Okay. Yeah, I think I like this. As long as I can tweak it. I like this plan. Please make it where I can see the amount of these values that are calculated when they are awarded. Yeah. Let's do step 1. Okay. So I didn't test this yet. Hopefully I'm not adding too much complication before actually play testing my updates. And so hopefully this will work out well. And I'm going to add this code, test it out, and then I think I'm going to call it for the stream for today. Yeah, this is getting a little tired here. Let me turn up a little bit of the music. I'm not going to babble as much while I'm doing this. All right, we're done. Let's see. Should be no. Oh, I don't want to fight. I want to increase my hit points and I want to lower my speed. Okay, so we're gonna make our hit points 30 because if we're having a hard time surviving, actually, but I'm gonna really make the speed dramatically different between me and the slimes. So I'm gonna go with a speed of 4. And yeah, sorry, get out of here. And the slimes are going to be speed of 3. So now if I increase my speed, it will be a 25% bump. A much more tempting choice. And another thing I don't have in here is a defense. So I think I'm going to kind of describe my experience of the game to Gemini and then have it suggest maybe some state machines that the slimes could have for actually making decisions on whether to move, attack, defend, run, things like that. I think I'll do that on the next stream, possibly. All right. I think those are good changes. Now let's run this. So I'll do one more battle, maybe 2 if I'm having a good time. Let's throw in a battle song here. Okay. All right. Here we go. So I think I will move down. I'm just moving to try and get the slime to move towards me. And then I will defend. Got hit for 1. Now attack. 7. Bummer. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, he got me. Got me before I could recharge. All right. If I defend, is it going to matter? I think he's going to... Oh, no. I want to attack. What am I thinking? Look at his hit points. They're only 2. Okay, so, yeah, I want to be able to swap actions and then also move during wave wait. I think that would be kind of fun. Like, actually pause the stat bar and let me move around if I want. All right, let's go down here. Let's be proactive. Let's attack. Can I get a second one in? Yes. Dead. Okay, so what do I upgrade? So I'm gonna get a full heal. That's nice. I kind of feel like speed is of the essence now. Let's see if this is too OP to have the speed be. Oh, look at this slime! Just wow, it really got a lot. I'm gonna defend. That was dumb. I'll defend again. Maybe that wasn't dumb, but okay, 5. My speed is nuts now. Okay. There's gonna be 3 slimes. Okay, I'm surrounded, but I can run. So let's just get out of here. Okay. But now they're just running at me. I'll go here so I can. I think if I defend, I might be too fast. Okay, no. I defended that attack. One is blocked and waits. Interesting. I haven't really been looking at the terminal. I also haven't been looking at like what you guys can see. Well, you haven't really. Well, I haven't been doing a good job of maintaining my my camera here. You haven't been seeing what I have been typing for quite a while. Well, somewhat. Yeah. Anyway, My bad. I'll try to be better about that. So let's attack. Whoa, full block? Really? Wait, I'm confused. Oh, I can cancel by pressing M. Okay. Wait, so what did I do? Did I? Target creature 3. Yeah, I missed. I just full on missed. Wow. Oh, I'm getting wailed on now. I feel like I should defend. Okay. Really? For 2? I'm dying here. Oh boy, come on. Okay, so the slime doesn't know how to get around his friend there. All right, we need to do like a pathfinding. Yeah. Okay. Need pathfinding for enemies. I also think it would be kind of cool to have enemies running when they're close to death, like when they're at like 10% or something, they go into a run mode. All right, let's get started. Let's kill this guy. Come on. I wanna survive my first. All right. So, do I want to increase my hit points? Oh, and how many points do I get? 1 stat point. Okay. I'm going to increase my hit points. Get a little bit extra healing. Because I only got to deal with 1 slime right now. I'm going to run. Okay, now I can defend. Let it waste some of that, all those attack points. Okay, so I need 225 experience now. This is nuts. I'm gonna have 4 slimes. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Boom. Okay. Well, because I don't have pathfinding, it might be best if I move down at this guy. Plus, I have full attack. Can I get rid of 1? Nope. Okay. 1 is dead. I'm going to move. Man, this is confusing. Still another. Okay, alright. Who is that? That is this guy. He is about to hit me. I'm gonna cancel and defend. I'm like so close to dying. Move, run. Okay, dead. And now I'm dead. Okay. I'm enjoying this. I truly am. It's like just hard enough and just strategic enough that the only other thing I can think of is like, you know, using supplies. Like I don't know how much just having more creatures of the same level is going to translate to having creatures of multiple levels in like the same area, because I want to make the game a little bit more advanced, where there's a base set of points, like maybe a base slime. I start really, really simple, has 1 attack, 1 defense, 1 speed. Okay. But then is given 2 stat points to be randomly placed, 2 or 3 stat points to be randomly placed in various places in their stat tree. I don't think that I'm going to display what they are, but it would be nice to give some visual clues as to which stat, like maybe show what level they are, and then the level of the creature will dictate how many stat points they get to play with. And then whichever stat happens to be given the most amount of points, maybe I'll have a visual cue, like, oh, this one can attack really high, so it'll have like extra. I want to add tentacles to the slimes, and like the tentacles will represent like higher attack points. And then also, like, if it's all dumped into speed, then the speed of the creature relative to you, you'll see it as bouncing faster, stuff like that. So there'll be some sort of a visualization, or defense, like if its defense is higher than yours, like relative to you, then it'll have a thicker skin or something. So those are just ideas I'm throwing around, and to have everything be like procedurally generated and visual, being visual cues, but not necessarily showing the actual stats. So I really enjoyed this one. I hope that there was some amount of interest for you on this particular stream. Learning things about my techniques of vibe coding and watching me create this game. I appreciate any of you that stick around to watch me work on this on the long haul. And my name's Justin. My channel is AI for the Masses. The game that I am working on is The Story of Someone, and I will see you on the next one.